Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Reagan. I just started this booktube channel this summer, maybe like in July or August. It is October now and I haven't done any introduction or anything on this platform, and I kind of wanted to do that. I wanted to show you my taste. I saw this trend going around on Instagram, literally only saw two people doing it, which was Destiny Sidwell and Heather McClary. Those two are like some of my favorite booked YouTubers ever. I love their videos so much and their taste, and I saw them do this thing on Instagram where it was their 5 favorites. So 5 favorite books, songs, albums, TV shows, and movies. And I thought that that would be fun to show you guys in this video as kind of like my introduction as to what my taste is. Because even though this is a booktube channel, I've found myself talking about movies and music and stuff like that. And I feel like I don't really want to limit myself just to books on this YouTube channel. I'm going to talk about everything that I'm interested in, which is all of the above, those 5 categories. So yeah, I just wanted to show you what my 5 favorites were for each of those kind of media categories. This was really hard to figure out, at least for like the songs and albums portion. Oh my god, that was difficult. And even like movies and stuff, I really find it hard to kind of pinpoint my favorites. Like on Letterboxd, you have to have like a 4 favorite movie situation, and I really struggle with choosing my 4 favorites. So choosing my 5 favorites out of all of these different categories was definitely difficult. I'll start with my books first, my 5 favorite books, because if you're only here for my booktube content, then I'll kind of just get that out of the way and you can be on your way. But if you're interested in what my other 5 favorites are from all of those different categories, then stick around. Here are my 5 favorite books at the moment. Today is October 29th, so I really do feel like over my life these 5 favorites of these 5 categories are going to change. And I already had such trouble choosing 5 favorites for each thing that I feel like my taste is not really well portrayed in just these 5 things. And like I could substitute so many different like shows, movies, songs, albums, books for each of these 5. But as far as books, these are my 5 favorite at the moment. I have only read a few hundred books in my life versus like songs where I've listened to thousands and thousands of songs. Like that's really difficult for me to kind of choose a favorite 5 when I've listened to literally thousands of songs in my life. But I haven't read too many books in the grand scheme of things, so this was kind of easy for me. So my first favorite book is The Tale of Despereaux by Kate DiCamillo. This is a children's book and I read it when I was a child and I just fell in love with it. I've read it so many times since that first read as a kid, and I think it totally stands the test of time now that I'm an adult. It is the story about this little mouse named Despereaux, and he just wants a different life from where he's living in his little mice community with his mice family. He wants to read, he wants to speak to this princess that he lives with in this castle, and because of his non-mousely interests, he gets exiled and he ultimately goes on this really epic quest. And I think that it is just a beautiful book. Some parts of it are so just scary, some parts are so heartwarming. I don't know. I think that this is the perfect book for children, but also just for like a cute little cozy read as an adult. I love this book so much. And the movie, not the greatest. I mean, it's fine, but I like the book better. And I can really just picture the scenes in this book so well. And also there are illustrations, so that kind of adds to it. But yeah, it's so funny. I have like lines underlined in this from when I was a kid, and I have stars on the pages, so this copy is really kind of near and dear to my heart. Also, I love the deckled edges, because in the book mice eat paper for just like food and stuff, but Despereaux doesn't want to eat the paper, he wants to read it. So I feel like that's really a really cool choice for this book, because I feel like most books that have deckled edges, they don't really relate to the story at all, so I don't know, I just love that little touch. But yeah, one of my favorite books, of course. Another one of my favorite books, I just talked about this in my physical TBR video, but this is The Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor. This is a young adult fantasy, and I have never read a young adult fantasy that has really just stuck in my brain more than this book. I can picture the opening scenes and the characters just so incredibly well. It's literally ingrained in my brain. It's beautiful. The setting is in Prague, but also between all these different magical lands, and it is just gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. It's a romance as well, and I really love the description of the main character, and I love the twists, and there's like a royal ball. I don't know, I don't really want to give away what this is about because I just love, love, love all of the reveals in this book. And the series is excellent too, but this really has a special place in my heart, and I've read it many times. It's definitely underhyped as far as like young adult fantasy series go. I feel like that's definitely having like a really big comeback on Book Talk, BookTube, whatever. And I've never seen anyone talk about this book or this series, and I think it is excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. Next, all of these books that I have on my favorites, I all read this year, which is really funny because I've just found so many good books this year in particular. And the first book that I have is Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This is a classic, a really beloved classic, and I think that a lot of people, or at least women, read this when they're younger, like when they're girls and stuff, and I never had that experience. I never read this book when I was younger. I've seen the movies, the different movie adaptations a few times before I read this book, and I was going into this not really knowing what to expect because I just already knew the story. I guess I didn't know how like the writing would really pull me in any way that I know that like a movie can, because a movie is so much more stimulating to all of your senses, obviously. But holy cow, I was glued to this book. It's just a beautiful, beautiful tale of 4 girls and their parents and just their lives. It is just like the definition of womanhood, and each individual character has such a unique personality that I think you can find in everyone, just little bits of everyone in each character. And yeah, it really blew me away by how much I absolutely loved and adored this book. It is amazing. I would love to reread it. It took me a little while to get through. It is like a 500-page book, but it is just so, so gorgeous. It is a classic for a reason. Yeah, I love this book so, so, so much. And I also love this cover. I got this at a used bookstore near my house, and they had a whole like plethora of editions of Little Women, and they said it was because one of the workers at the store collects special editions of Little Women, and she gave away the ones that she didn't want. And I love this one. How could she not want this one? It's so pretty. But yeah, that's Little Women. Next are 2 books that I read this summer. So I Who Have Never Known Men by Jacqueline Harpman. This is such a short, little, beautiful book. I guess these 3 kind of are all giving like women's saga, women's fiction, because this book is set in a dystopian world where 40 women are living underground in a bunker, locked away, and they're guarded by these men. And they've been underground for, they don't even know how long enough to forget everything, forget about their past, forget about potentially having a future, except for this one young girl who is much younger than all of the rest of the other 39 women who are locked in the bunker with her. She is like 20 years younger than them or something like that, so she never experienced life outside of the cage, and it really just explores her kind of discovering who she is as a woman, who she is in this kind of weird dystopian society that she has with all these other women, and coming to terms with how life is going to be for her. Something crazy happens in this book and it kind of alters the course of the novel, which I won't really say. I don't think it's necessarily a spoiler, but it definitely shocked me. But yeah, I talked a little bit more about this in my July and August reading wrap up, so if you want to know my full thoughts on this book, then check that out. But yeah, just an amazing, amazing, amazing book. If you are a woman, I highly recommend reading this. If you are literally anyone else on the planet, highly recommend this one. It is just one of the best books I have ever read. It was so thought-provoking and just insane. Insane, insane, insane. I love this book. And I think about it all the time too, which is crazy. Yeah, it's beautiful. Beautiful book. It's also translated from French, which is really cool. And then my last book, I read this either in July or August. I also wrapped this up in that July and August reading wrap-up video, so go check that out for more in-depth thoughts. But this is Circe by Madeline Miller. This is a Greek retelling of the goddess Circe and just her life and who she meets and who she runs into and develops relationships with over the course of her life, and it is just the most beautiful story. And I really loved the Percy Jackson series growing up. I don't have any of the books here. If I were to choose like my top 5 favorite series, like that would definitely be in the series. None of these are, well, I guess one of them is a series, but that's a different category. Anyways, I was just so obsessed with Greek mythology as a kid, and seeing all of the characters in this book show up and just interact with this goddess, I was over the moon. It was so, so, so amazing. It totally felt like that feeling when I would read Percy Jackson as a kid, and I'm always chasing that feeling. So this was perfect. So perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Also, Madeline Miller writes this in a way that you believe every single line in this book. Like, this is a fictional retelling, but it just feels so real to me. Yeah, it's perfect. I love this book so much. Highly recommend. Those are my 5 favorite books. I will go into music next. So, my 5 favorite songs. This was incredibly difficult for me to narrow down. Like I said earlier, I've only read a few hundred books in my life, listened to thousands of songs. So choosing these was really, really difficult. And I feel like I could swap out so many other songs for this. Like, I have so many notable mentions, but I'll keep it simple, you know? My first favorite song is Mariella by Khruangbin and Leon Bridges. This might be my favorite song of all time. It is so beautiful. I highly recommend checking it out. The bass lick in this, I don't know if you can see my bass, but holy cow, it made me want to learn bass. It is so beautiful. Khruangbin, amazing, amazing band. All of their songs are just glorious, basically. I've seen them in concert twice, and life-changing for sure. Highly recommend. And the 2 Texas Sun and Texas Moon albums, I don't have this listed in my next category, but amazing, amazing albums. Totally recommend checking those out. Next, I have Ventura Highway by America, and I think it's like George Martin is also in the version that I'm talking about. I just love that song. The guitar in that song, amazing. Love it. This song has a really special place in my heart because it reminds me a lot of last summer when I studied abroad in Iceland. That was kind of like the anthem of the trip. So I'm definitely really attached to that because of that specific memory, but still an excellent song. Next is Bags by Clairo. I have been a Clairo fan for years and years and years, and I just think that that is an amazing song, especially the electric... What is that called? Electric Lady Studios, is that what it's called? Electric Studios, I can't remember what the version is, but that version is excellent. Also, this isn't one of my favorite songs, but Zinnia's recorded at Electric Lady Studios. Amazing, amazing song. Also, shout out to Syracuse, New York, because that's mentioned in there. But yeah, Bags by Clairo, life-changing, for sure. Amazing song. Okay, next is Space Song by Beach House. Beach House is such a cool vibe. I love their music, and Space Song was the first ever song that kind of introduced me to them, and yeah, it's just amazing. Every single time I ride a plane, I play that song. because I don't know, it just feels like I'm taking off into space. It's beautiful. Okay, next. I have a lot of like classic rock songs that could potentially be my favorites, like Bohemian Rhapsody or something, but I feel like that is everyone's favorite song. So my favorite song pick is Benny and the Jets by Elton John. I just love that song so much. It really reminds me of my friends too. I learned how to play that on bass as well, and I play that with my friends sometimes. Yeah, really, really fun song. I also saw Elton John live with them last year, and that was amazing. The lyrics are so good, so funny too. It's epic. I love the live version too. I can't remember what album that's on, but I'll put all the pictures of what the songs look like there. Next is albums. So this is kind of hard for me because I don't really consider myself like an album listener. I'm mainly like a song person, or I'll go through an album and just kind of choose the songs that I like and not really listen to them super cohesively, which is definitely like a flaw of mine. I totally feel like I should be into albums more, but I'm not. I really find it hard to have like a no skip album, but there are a few that I do have. So I'm gonna tell you some of those. So first of all, Clairo's Immunity. Classic, amazing, no skips for me. I saw her in concert the day after that album came out, and I feel like that is the biggest crime I've ever committed because I didn't know any of the songs yet, and she sang a bunch of them, and I just felt so terrible because I was just listening like, not even knowing the full magnitude of what I was listening to because the album had been out for one day. Anyways, amazing, amazing album. No skips for me. Next is actually Control by SZA. I used to be really big into rap and R&B when I was in high school, and this album is actually perfect. I wouldn't skip a single song on there. It is so good. She has so many hits too. It's excellent. I don't love her most recent album, but Control is perfect. I think that was maybe the first ever album that I had that was truly no skips. Okay, actually I'm gonna contradict myself on that last statement. I think that the first no skip album that I had ever was Lana Del Rey's Born to Die. This is truly a non-skip album for me. All of these are amazing, as well as I think Paradise by Lana, but don't think I'm including this one on my favorite albums. My favorite Lana album is Norman fucking Rockwell. I think that that album is literally so good. So good. This album kind of has like a nostalgia factor for me. I wouldn't say all of these songs are perfect, but I do love all of them. But I would say that NFR is just perfect for me. There's so many good songs on there, and I love it. I do think that that is Lana's best album. I don't know. She has a lot of really, really good albums. Almost every single one is perfect. But NFR is my favorite. I also really love Lust for Life. I don't think that that has a skip on there either. I don't know, it's difficult to say which one is the best because I love Lana. I've been a huge stan of Lana for years and years. I saw her in like 2018 with my friends, their mom, and my mom, and both of the moms were like, why are we here? Why did we bring them to this? Because her lyrics are a little cray. My next one, I wasn't going to include this because I haven't really listened to it in a long time. Kind of like what I was saying with SZA, I haven't really listened to rap and R&B in a while, and this is what I'm referring to. This is Flower Boy by Tyler, the Creator. This is my favorite Tyler album. I know that people might hate me for that because they don't like it as much, or that he might have other better albums. But this one, purely nostalgia for me. I love this album so much. And originally I was like, there are some skips on there. But when I listened to it the other day, kind of compiling this list, there's literally not one skip. And I just love it. This was my favorite album for like a few years in my life, and I think it will always have a really special place in my heart. I don't know why I don't love his music as much anymore. He just came out with a new album that I just haven't listened to yet. Maybe I'll really like that one. I have this really bad habit of going to see people in concert and then just never listening to them again. And I think that's kind of what happened when I saw Tyler. It's happened with a bunch of people. It's happened with like Billie Eilish, Rex Orange County. But that's for a different reason. I don't know, it's like a weird thing for me. I'll just go and see them in concert and be like, yep, I'm done. And then I won't listen to them again. And I saw him in 2021 maybe, or 2022, I can't really remember. And he was amazing in concert, for sure. But yeah, I haven't really listened to him since. Anyways, this is just amazing. I love the songs on here. Boredom, unfortunately, featuring Rex, is one of my favorite songs of all time. And that just holds like a special place in my heart, even if I don't really listen to it anymore. But yeah, there's that. And then I think that my taste in music, and maybe in everything, is kind of mainstream. So I wanted to throw something in there that I don't think a lot of people will know. And this album is Keepsakes by Shallow Alcove. This album, not a single skip, not a single bad song on there. Amazing, amazing, amazing. I have met some of the band members before and they are just angels. They're so creative, they're so talented, and I just love their music. Anything that they put out is amazing. Specifically this album, I really love the songs on this album. I just think that their lyrics are like the cutest little things ever. It's like indie pop, a little bit of folk, maybe a little bit of rock, maybe not rock, but it is truly excellent if you're into this kind of like indie-ish pop music or folk music. It is amazing. I love this band. I love their whole kind of brand. It's super cutesy, really kind of like childlike whimsy. Yeah, I just wanted to throw that one in there because I don't think that a lot of people will have heard of Shallow Alcove, and that album is amazing. It truly is. Okay, next I'm going to do TV shows. So this is kind of easy for me. I don't really watch too much TV. There definitely are some really good shows that I did leave off this list. I think my favorite show of all time is Sherlock with Benedict Cumberbatch and I can't remember what the other guy's name is. I'm so sorry. I grew up watching a lot of British TV shows and I just watched that as it was coming out with my family, and it really is so incredibly nostalgic for me, and it's also so clever and just funny and dark and witty. Oh my god, I can't shut up about it, apparently. Yeah, I love that show, and it's relatively short. There's only like 4 seasons, I think, 4 or 5, and yeah, it is truly excellent. Next, in the kind of same vein of British TV shows, I love Downton Abbey. I love it so much. The drama is amazing. I also just love period pieces in general, and I honestly think that that is my favorite one. Well, I don't know. I love the kind of progression of that show. It is amazing. I haven't watched any of the movies, so I kind of want to like not do that because the show is kind of its own entity. But yeah, holy cow. That is an excellent show. It's also super long, so if you're looking for something really long that you want to get into, highly recommend watching Downton Abbey. Okay, next. I watched this last summer for the first ever time and it blew my mind. It is so good. And that's Sex and the City, which is kind of like a hilarious pick, but honestly, it is so good. I didn't expect myself to like it as much as I did, but I've seen it like a few times over now because it's just so good. It's so funny. The fashion is amazing. The vibe is just so good. I love like the early 2000s in that show. I love the characters. They're all just so, I don't know, flawed, but also complex and kind of comforting in a way that, like, I don't know, I just love all of them. Carrie, worst character. Ooh. I just really, truly love that show, which is so funny. I never would have expected to enjoy it, considering that my first 2 favorite shows are literally Sherlock and Downton Abbey. Like, the jump to Sex and the City is kind of hilarious. Hi guys, I'm editing right now, and I did not mention the absolute chokehold that the show had on me last year. I literally almost moved to New York, I think, because of that show. I've been to New York like maybe like a handful of times,
And really watching that show, I was like, I need to be there. I need to move there. And yeah, I was Carrie for Halloween last year. I was her cowboy costume, if you know what I'm talking about. And yeah, I literally applied to jobs after college that are in New York City. I got a job that was in New York. I was this close to moving there. I was like a less than a millimeter. I was that close to moving there. All because of Sex in the City. I wanted to be Carrie walking across those streets, just strutting her stuff and her little Manala Blahniks. Like, I'd never be doing that, but I wanted to be her so bad. And I still do. Like, I still would move there in a heartbeat. If you need a roommate and you're paying, like, super cheap, let me know. But yeah, literally that show almost just about changed my life last year.
And then jumping again, another favorite show of mine is Breaking Bad. I'll just never forget like the first watch through of that show. It is just the craziest story, but also just so incredibly entertaining. It's just sickening as well. Like, I'm sick to my stomach when I watch that. It's just so good. It's so good. I love shows that are kind of like heists like that. I wouldn't say that any of them are really favorites other than Breaking Bad. Better Call Saul is really good too, but I do really like Breaking Bad more. It's just excellent, and I think everyone knows that it's excellent. So I don't need to keep harping about that. And then my last one is The Office, because that is just a big old ball of nostalgia. It's perfect. I love The Office so much. And I think everyone else loves The Office too, so don't really need to talk about that one as well. I don't really watch a lot of TV shows anymore just because I'm kind of more focused on reading and also getting away from screens. Like, if I'm gonna watch something on a screen, it's probably gonna be a movie. I have been watching Narcos with my mom on and off, but that has really kind of not happened in a while. Haven't really been watching TV. Movies. So this was really hard for me. Like I was saying earlier, I just have so many favorite movies. Like, I probably have like 20 favorites. It's really difficult for me to pick 5 out of all of them, but I'll try. So my first one is Fantastic Mr. Fox. I just love the feeling of this movie. It is so incredibly autumnal, but also quirky, and it's just lovely. It's really a beautiful experience with like the music, the coloring, the story. I just love claymation and kind of like cartoony sort of movies. So that movie is just perfect for me personally. And I love Roald Dahl. Is that his name? Ronald Dahl? I love his stories. And I just think that his storytelling is perfect. Also, Wes Anderson, literally probably my favorite director ever. I love all of his movies, all the ones that I've seen. I haven't seen all of his kind of filmography, if that's the right word, but yeah, I truly love Wes Anderson, and I really do like that movie a lot. Next is Pride and Prejudice, but like the 2000s version with Keira Knightley. Perfect, amazing. I love that version. I also just love Keira Knightley in general. Like I said earlier, I love a period piece. I love the fashion, I love their language, and I love like the emotion that is present in those sort of pieces because it's so different than how we express emotion today. I just love seeing that. Also the music in that one as well, gorgeous. Just the vibes are perfect in that movie specifically. Next is Midsummer. I haven't watched this movie in a long time, and this really was like, weirdly enough, a comfort movie for me for a while, and I do still really like it. I love Florence Pugh. I also love any movie by A24. Holy cow, they're just killing the game in terms of movie production and just storytelling in general. I just love Midsummer. I love the creepy feeling. I don't love the gore, but I can kind of overlook that. The imagery in that movie is excellent too. The colors, the the vibe is perfect. I love the May Queen. I love that kind of folklore as well. I just think that the whole like midsummer festival is super interesting for me as well. I love that movie. I also really like scary movies, and I haven't watched many recently, so I really would love to get back into that. Yeah, I think that movie is amazing. I think Florence Pugh does such a good job in that movie as well. Okay, next is Howl's Moving Castle. This is, I think, my favorite Studio Ghibli movie. I love Studio Ghibli, and I love the art style, the colorings, the music, the stories. Every single movie that I've watched from Studio Ghibli has been amazing. I do think that this one is my favorite. I love the story of this one. I love the characters. Christian Bale. Oh my god, so sexy. I love the music in this one. Merry-Go-Round of Life is one of my favorite songs ever. Didn't include that in my song choices, but still excellent. I just love that movie so much. Definitely a comfort movie for me as well. It's beautiful, it's perfect. So my last movie is Dirty Dancing. I actually have the album of the soundtrack to this one. The soundtrack to this movie, insane, so good. It's so nostalgic for me as well. I just love this movie. Yeah, I love it. I love the romance. I love the setting. I love the characters. I love that they're dancing. I love Patrick Swayze. Jennifer Grey is excellent as well. This movie is just like the sexiest masterpiece ever without being like super sexual, you know what I mean? I love movies from the 80s as well. I just think that that time period for movies is perfect for me, and I think that this is my favorite from that kind of era. I highly recommend if you haven't seen this. I know that this is kind of a classic, but it is just perfect for me. Okay, that is all that I have for my 5 favorites. I definitely think in like, I don't even know, maybe a few days even, I'm gonna regret the choices that I put for some of these, just because I have so many favorites of everything. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you liked any of these things, let me know. I love meeting people with the same kind of taste as me, or if you have a different taste, let me know what your 5 favorites are. If there's anything you think I should check out as far as any of these 5 categories, totally let me know. I just think that this was fun. A fun little kind of introduction to who I am as far as my like media consumption. I don't know. All of these different categories are just so near and dear to me, and I love consuming media from each category. So this was really fun for me. It was really difficult coming up with everything, but super fun in the process, going through all of these different forms of media that I consume and seeing what I like, seeing what I don't like, seeing what I maybe prefer over other things. It was just super fun. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video, which will probably be more book related. But yeah, see you next time. Bye.